People often ask, do you believe in love? And my answer is always the same. Yes. It's often followed by a, how do you know? I've seen it. My grandparents had a great love. The kind of love you read about in books or see in movies, and they even have a photo of the day that they met. They passed away 4 years ago, 4 months from each other, like to the day. And I have been looking for a way that I could carry them with me and always have them with me. Mourning jewelry goes back to the 16th century, but it was popularized in the Victorian era, and usually it enclosed a piece of cloth, lace, but hair seemed to be the most popular, and this was a great way to kind of capture the essence of the person in something tangible. And when photos became more widely available at the turn of the century, photographs started being used for mourning jewelry, and this was very popular during the two Great Wars. I've always found them to be so beautiful and like such a great way to kind of keep somebody's memory alive and have them with you always. So it's something that I really wanted for my grandparents. And I have these two brooches that are for photos that could be used for mourning jewelry, but there was just something about them that I just didn't like that they were separated. And then I was on Etsy the other night and I found this brooch. There's a place for two photographs side by side and they're joined together in the middle, and it is just the most perfect piece of jewelry to represent my grandparents. I knew instantly that I had to have it, so I added it to my basket and I checked out, and after almost an entire month of waiting, it is finally here. So after my grandmother passed, I inherited all of her photo albums, and it is something that I desperately wanted because every time that I would visit my grandparents, my grandma and I would pull out all of her photo albums and photos and we would go through all of them, and it is like, I treasure those memories fondly, and I consider this to be my most prized possession. Like honestly, if there's a fire, this is what I'm grabbing because it is just very, very special to me. My grandparents met in 1955, and my grandmother was a debutante, and the party that she was attending was like a 2-day event. My grandfather happened to be walking past as she was going in, so he saw her, and then the second night he got dressed up and he snuck into the party, and here's a photo of the day that they met. She was 14 and he was 16, and my grandfather would bike for an hour just so he can go in front of her house and she would wave to him from the window. He asked her to be his girlfriend on Valentine's Day, and they got married in 1962. When my grandparents got older, unfortunately, my grandfather was diagnosed with Alzheimer's and dementia, and once he kind of stopped being able to recognize anyone, anytime that anybody would go visit them, my grandfather would talk about the beautiful lady that took care of him and how he was going to marry her one day. Of course, that was my grandmother. She was his caretaker until they passed. They were always together and very devoted to each other, so it was really important for me for the photos to be together in one piece of jewelry. makes me so happy to see them together in this brooch, knowing I can always have them with me, not only as a reminder of my grandparents, but also as a symbol of love.